I'm so excited. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Initiative Order, and welcome to our next episode and next chapter of Far Realms, our KULT Divinity Lost Homebrew campaign, where I, your keeper, lead a group of lost souls beyond the veil and peer into the nightmares that tear at their psyches. But before we jump into character introductions, player intros, and other things, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors so we can start setting the mood. First up is Session Zero Clothing. They have D&D inspired streetwear. You can use code ORDER at checkout for 15% off in their shop. I believe they recently had a restock, and there is just an epic ton of things to go do the things for, so do the thing. Next up is Norse Foundry. They are artisan dice makers, everything from like gem, metal, wood, all of them are there and are all sitting in my cart because I am stingy with my monies. But because I'm stingy, I can use code TIO15 at checkout for 15% off in their shop as well. Roaming Player Gear is amazing tabletop gaming supplies by our very own Got DM. You can use the code Carnaby20 for 20% off the dice, tower, and tray combo set. Also myself as Umbral Oculus Dice, that's UO_dice on the Instagram, is a sponsor. If you would like 10% off of full sets in my shop through my Ko-fi link, you can enter in the discount code initiative at checkout for 10% off of those. We also have Mithril Armory. They are our creators of insane dice and tabletop tiles and gaming accessories. They have the 1020 foldable metal dice puzzles. They had a very successful Dive New Kickstarter. And we do have a giveaway from them later for 5 of the foldable 1020 puzzles. So you're going to want to look into that and stick around for that. And again, code initiative at checkout in their shop for 10% off. Now, as always, if you dig what we do and you can actually directly support myself and the players, you can always drop bits and subscriptions and things to support our like the channel and everything that we do here. But if you want to directly support us, you can go drop some tokens into our Ko-fi and help some of them suffer with, coping of the suffering and the things that I'm going to put them through, especially in this chapter. And on that note, horror TTRPG, we are going to be dealing with mental health issues. There is going to be some body horror, graphic things of that nature. Myself and the players do have a horror contract. We are aware of lines and veils, and we have consented to all of this. If at any point you need to take a step back, please feel free to do so and join us when you feel comfortable. Now, let's go ahead and start with our new cast member, Rachel.
Hi. My name's great start. Excellent. I don't talk to people. I'm alone in my apartment all the time in Toronto. Very lonely. My name is Rachel. I'll be playing Alice tonight. You can find me on Instagram at Bad Duck Design. That's my nerdy gay stuff. Some of it's for sale. Some of it is just to make you laugh. If you want to find my personal Insta, which I barely post on, but you can visit if you want. That's Manic Pixie Tank Girl. And yeah, I'm excited to be here for my first kind of more than a one-shot. I'll also be playing in the Nerds game with Billy. Our group session will be on the 19th, so you can catch me there as well.
Awesome. I guess we can let Ronan talk about himself, which we know he loves to do.
I do. I'm Ronan Fox. Can't really find me. I don't do socials anymore. I'm not just a pretty face, though. I'm the pretty face. So you're welcome. And tonight I am playing a 6'5" bearded writer named Fox, but I know what you're thinking. Okay, it's spelled Fox. Completely different human being. So
roll 2d10 for me.
No, I don't want to. Okay, hold on.
Think I'm playing.
I don't think you are. That's why I'm scared.
I'm not at all.
Just cause a little torment on the meta-ness. Like dice falling and everything.
Fell on a 5. 7 plus 5, 12.
Okay, awesome. Anything else, Ronan?
No. What?
Okay.
I hate it.
last but certainly not least, Jay.
Oh, hey, what can I say? It's Jay, Casual. You can find me on all social media at Just2Casual. You can also follow me on my TTRPG writing journey as I create my anime-inspired urban fantasy deep breath RPG, where the old world of magic meets the new world of technology. I will actually be releasing the starter sample guide for you to enjoy 7 of the species and access to the classes with some subclass options for you to enjoy playing at your table for playtest. Those people that are subscribed to my Ko-Fi get early access to some of the content, but it'll be released for more general use over time. So check that out on Deep Breath RPG on Twitter and Instagram, and also the website, which has just been redone, remade, and ready for you to review at deepbreathrpg.com. That's DEEP bread THRPG.com. And I'm gonna be Tyson, as always, the one true main protagonist of this series, despite Ronan's existence.
Valid. And of course, myself, I am your keeper, Taryn Hackett, also known as Val Rook across the socials, generally creative human and eldritch entity. I'm also a dice maker under the moniker, of course, of Umbral Oculus. That is UO_dice on the Instagram. Link in bio for Ko-fi and other things, because I have a shop update right now live. So that is a thing that I do. Every other Tuesday, I'm over at the Red Hair Inn playing a Cinnamon roll. This Tuesday, in fact, and she's a Hexblood druid, and so it's an interesting witchy combination. I used to be here every Monday in the Initiative Order playing Fallout. You can go watch it on YouTube, though. It's a good campaign. You'll cry. I did. But those are things that I do. And with that, your perception has faltered. You're unsure of yourself. You're not sure if what you're seeing is reality, or if maybe you really are losing it. Sand is slipping through your fingers. But with that, we're going to take a step beyond the veil once again and see what has been hiding behind its veil. Okay, so we set the stage. Tyson, after experiencing horrific, nightmarish visions, seemingly, of a funeral gone awry, an institution, the loss of loved ones, a seemingly unfolding mystery, you found yourself in your apartment. Went and talked to your mom, explained everything to her. She's very nonchalant, casual, one might say, about the whole ordeal. She went on to explain she was never truly certain who your father was, although she did suspect it was the one that you suspect. She does not and did not remember the night you were born. She does vaguely remember being at Borland Manor. It would appear that you did indeed go to the funeral, but no incident of anything like that has made headlines. In the several weeks that have passed since awakening in your apartment after your visions of Bradford, you find no existence of an institution with that name. You've not seen Eleonora since then. In fact, in the circles that you both partook in, no one seems to even recall her. Her name is not listed in any phone book. Her phone number and contact in your phone has mysteriously disappeared. You know it was there, but there is no evidence. The shop where she once ran her small business, a tiny little tucked away almost nook in a brick building down in Soho, it's a laundry joint. It's a small one run by an old woman. And life goes on. Your mother suggests talking to your counselor again, seeing if these nightmares that you're having are you trying to cope with the loss of Dr. Borland. And yet you awake in your apartment once more. Describe your apartment. Like, as you're awakening, there is like a slight, like, in the mini blinds that are on this apartment, there's like one that's knocked down and the sun is beginning to peer through just at the right angle to where it's catching you in the eye and you begin to stir. What do you see in that apartment?
Well, I picture this apartment's not the best, but it's what one can afford to get a like 1-bedroom studio apartment experience. The room is quite barren at this point. There seems to be no extra items that once decorated. Some of the posters that once hung were kind of torn. Some glass shards from pictures are along the edge of the room, and there are several like discarded fast food containers. But more importantly, on one of the walls is just a massive cork board full of just pictures, news articles, and items of notes that have been written with thumbtacks and red yarn drawn or yellow yarn drawing points of interest together based off notes and things that seem to be interconnected. The rest of the apartment, as the studio loft area, is just as barren, full of just discarded items and random trinkets from different things, collections of items of moments that didn't seem to make sense but brought home to try to make sense of them. It's a mess of a hovel. It's one of those, it's surprising that anyone still lives in this place, but it's sustainable enough in the space that he operates in, who, as he gets up, is less groomed, less kept, just a little less himself than normal.
So as you sit in the bed, there's a creak from the mattress. The heating system kicks on and the fan begins to knock the string that pulls the blinds against the wall, and it's just tap, 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 and it continues to echo.
Yeah, Tyson's gonna go take that, and first off, as anxious as he's become, will it just take note of anything around it? Will like actually have this nearby like thermometer to see if it's like colder there, because that's the logic he's determined that cold means something spectral is there.
Yeah, no, if anything, is you have the thermometer there, you're looking, but the heater vent is like right on it, so it's actually slightly warmer there. But it just continues to tap until you get to it. And with each tap, it's like a ping at the back of your head, just slowly building this sense of rage in your gut. It just continues to tap until you reach it.
Once I get to it, Tyson's going to reach into like almost always attached to his pocket. It's going to pull out a knife to just cut the string immediately.
You cut the string. Obviously, it stops. There's a siren outside. You look through a little bit. It's like flurrying. It's not hardcore snowing, just lightly, just chilly. Feels like it's been this way for weeks.
Snow. Bradford, snow. This is not normal either. And then it's going to just, knowing that it's quiet, and just going to take the morning routine of checking the board, seeing if there's something that stands out of all the events that have been taking across the entirety of this city.
Okay. So what has Tyson? Tyson's been building this board, but as of right now, what does a standard day look like for Tyson?
Start the day checking the board while getting a thing of coffee to start brewing. We'll throw in some anti-anxiety stuff that he got mixed with the coffee, as well as a few other things to help him stay focused, all just kind of mixed into the coffee drink. Then we'll, after having the coffee, stares at the board for a longer. We'll then just rinse with mouthwash. His only brushes his teeth sparingly. Time spent in the bathroom is not worth it. The bathroom itself is just not a place to go anymore. Too many haunted things happen in bathrooms. He also doesn't have his active refrigerator. He gets his breakfast from like a cooler that he has ice and salt. He tries to avoid using certain electronics just to make sure he can control what is happening. So then he gets his breakfast from there. So it's constantly restocked on hand, and he only tries to get food he can get within the last 24 to 48 hours at most, and starts his morning routine to do that. And then considers his jobs that he has, which is doing photography for people. He does mostly on-site photos if people want pictures of the park or something. It's a way he can make money here and there, especially for people with luxury. They like having people go to weird locations to take pictures. And he takes that opportunity to try to get more information about the city, the people, and the events. It's almost completely off grid as much as you can be while living in the middle of a city.
Grid.
Yeah.
Okay. So your morning progresses. Now for the other two. So life in the city has always been gray, cold, kind of a dog eat dog place. It just seems like in order to get anywhere, you're having to knock the legs out from someone else. It seems like a heartless place so much of the time, and usually just when you're on the cusp of giving in and just letting it consume you, there's some spark, something that pulls you back and keeps you just on the edge. Whether that's a hobby, an individual, a pastime, a bad habit. That's what's kept you just on the edge of becoming as heartless as the city you live in. But what strikes you most of the time and you just do your best to not think about it, is that you cannot remember and recall the name of the city that you live in. You find yourself wondering if it's just you. What's wrong with you? Why can't I remember this? I should know this. If I bring this up, am I going to look crazy? Am I going to look... What would happen? What if I'm not the only one? You tuck those thoughts to the back of your mind. You go about your day. But usually as you go about your day, you see things. In the subway, you see, tucked away in the dark corner, something writhing. There's a foul smell. But as the lights flicker, train arrives. It's just a homeless guy sitting there with a brown paper bag. You look around constantly to see if anyone else seems to notice, and if they do, they're faster at looking away than you are. There's always a sense of unease. The few that you've brought these things up to seem to blow it off. Act like it's no big deal, but still somehow never answer the questions you're asking. You find yourself walking through parks and could swear that every child on the playground is staring at you, only to find yourself looking back and they're regular children at play. Over the course of the last several months, it feels like forever, there have been disappearances, which people seem to sweep under the rug. Investigators are on it, is all you're ever told. It's all that's ever in the papers. There have been several murders. Gory. But again, investigators are on it. Everyone seems weirdly confident that they'll figure it out. Alice. The heating unit kicks on. There's a low hum, and there's a rattling in the vent in your bedroom. Just a slight one, just enough to let you know that it's kicked on. You can see, like, looking over maybe by curtains, there's a little bit of light peering in. It's morning. Describe yourself and what your apartment looks like.
So Alice, myself, I'm small, blonde, not really a threatening type person if you saw them on the street. My apartment is small, but not unkempt. Very organized into different spaces. Like there's obviously an area that's set up with a tripod, camera, fairy lights. You know, everything is in the frame of that camera is very cute and set up to be seen. And then everything else is not unkempt, but busy, trying to fit a lot of stuff into a very small space. A lot of wigs, lots of clothes, trying to make them all fit when I don't necessarily have a closet. Yeah, a lot of stuff trying to fit on a coffee table with an ashtray, rolling papers, weed, that kind of stuff. And probably a lot of books that have clearly been read multiple times because they're faded and the covers are all kind of dog-eared and the spines are broken. And waking up, it's a double bed, but empty, and it's just kind of like a stare at the ceiling, like, here we go again, just another day. Like, pick up my phone, check for new notifications, new money that's come in, respond to DMs. Nothing nothing really personal, no real messages from friends or anything. It's all just very transactional. Just spend a lot of time just laying in bed, probably lighting up a roach and smoking that in bed before I even get up and start doing anything, but taking care of most of my business just from there.
So as you sit up, the strike of the lighter, satisfying first inhale, still dimly lit from your phone, the rattling stops. The guy down the hall you occasionally see has become growingly more and more unkempt. Someone you used to see look like they had their shit together has slowly started to look disheveled. Somebody that, like, yeah, they lived in a modest apartment, but something's getting to them. And even from a distance, like, you've seen it. How does this affect Alice in her moments alone when suddenly the thought catches up that this stranger, they're nobody to her, she's nobody to them. But how does that cross her? Because yesterday when you saw them come back in, scruff, and the odor was unbearable. It was noticeable, and that was never the case.
Should probably assume that this person is becoming more and more vulnerable and maybe unstable. So trying to weigh, is this a situation I could take advantage of? Or is this a person that I should try and steer clear of because they're going to become a danger to me?
But yeah, you begin your morning routine. What does a day in the life of Alice look like over the last few months? How has that transpired?
Well, probably after checking like all my business stuff, making a plan for what kind of content I'm going to post for that day, if I have to go out to do that. Food isn't something, it's not that I don't want to eat, or it's just not something I care about. I don't get any enjoyment from it. So, picking at stuff here and there to make sure I'm not going to pass out while I'm out and about. Maybe going for a walk and getting a feel for how the city is, or at least how my neighborhood is, and if things outside of myself are getting darker, or if it's just the kind of endless marching of days that I feel personally. So just doing that until it gets dark, scoping out bars, just trying to, advertising.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's in those days when you're kind of going through the city that you start to notice things like that. You're sitting at a bar having a good time, nice LED lit, like it's a fairly upbeat facility, and you kind of look down and there just seems to be this person staring. And it's like, as you're sitting there, they're just staring. And finally you look back and they're not even sitting at the table. But it's experiences like this that just seem to compile. But we're back to your bed, sitting there, going through your morning business. Fox, as you begin to awake, how big of an apartment does Fox have? How well kept? What are we looking at? And what do they look like?
It's huge. It's really big. I would say top floor. Fox is very well off. So he is in a pretty large bed. He is alone in the apartment. Lots of mirrors in the bedroom. And then in the main living space, there's just like really nice furniture. If you were to walk in and see him and then see the furniture, you'd be like, he clearly didn't pick this out. Like this has been set up for him to look like this. Except for there is on the mantle, there's a large picture of him accepting the presidential medal while riding a three-headed unicorn without a shirt on, himself, not the unicorn. And in the other hand, he's holding a book. And so it's just very, very grandiose, over the top.
Okay.
That's his apartment.
Okay. So you awake. There's a tapping on the outside of your window. There must be a bunch of pigeons building a nest there again. This has to be like the third time you've just knocked it off the stoop. But you can hear it scuttling right outside of the window. And it's that scratching and tapping that pulls you from your sleep. The apartment smells clean, warm. The heater kicks on quietly, but you can feel it just because the vents are angled perfectly to give you the comfiest night's sleep. Your apartment seems to be the one place where you feel safe most of the time. While you're creative and, sometimes those darker things can fuel that creativity, you've still found disturbing experiences become seemingly more frequent. You're not blind. You and everybody else are seeing the social media posts. You're seeing the newspapers, the headlines. Now, does Fox openly acknowledge these things, or is it just something they quietly acknowledge to themselves?
It's something I guess I sort of internalize it and utilize it. In my own head, I am fully aware that it's happening and that I am using it. I don't talk about it openly or anything like that. It's not something that I would engage in externally. It's more of like okay, yeah, let's just use that.
Okay. What does a day in the life of Fox look like?
So probably I'd say like 2 weeks prior, it's a little different, but previously, very similar hours. It's very transactional in the morning. It's fan DMs, it's editors, it's agents, all that sort of stuff is all going on in the mornings. I do have other texts and things from like mother and some friends, but I don't really ever respond to them. Usually the day starts off at the coffee shop, espresso followed by like energy drinks. He's a very caffeinated individual. And it used to be a lot of procrastinating, because I don't currently have an idea for a novel, so it's a lot of like walking through the parks and things like you were describing, just trying to fill my day until something happens, and then in the evening I will sit at the computer and try to just write until inspiration comes. But a couple weeks after all those sort of things, like walking through the park and feeling like I'm being stared at, I have become a bit more reclusive in the past week or so, sticking to the apartment. I still go out for coffee and things that I need to do. I'm just not spending so much like recreational time out there now. So more at the computer focused.
Yeah. Well, and during this time, just when it's kind of like when you're a child and you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, but everything's dark. And it's like, as you begin to, walk back to your bed from the restroom, you turn out the bathroom light behind you. And suddenly you just feel this weight behind you. You feel eyes on you. And so you just begin walking faster and faster until you find yourself running to your bed and jumping to avoid the thing that may or may not be hiding under there. Getting under the covers because you're safe there. They can't see you, you can't see them, it's fine. But you feel that building as you enter into your building and the doors close behind you, you get that same feeling. And it not quite as intense, but it feels like over the weeks it's just built to where you can't get through your apartment door and lock it behind you fast enough. Now, it is during this time that you do share an elevator space with someone that you've seen before. Usually suit and tie, very well kept together. Somebody else that you used to look at and go, they get it. They see the big picture. But this time, as he enters into the elevator, he's distant. He's unkempt. It's like a t-shirt. Something's affected this person. And this morning, as you're awaking, like you're looking around, you're having your normal morning routine, that experience crosses your mind. How does that affect Fox when that image and this person comes to mind? Muted.
It's very internal, so it's very duck on the water. So the other person in the elevator would probably experience nothing, get a sort of nod and how you doing. And internally, it's increased heart rate, palms sweaty, that sort of thing. Like just okay, all right, this is a thing.
So you're all sitting in your apartments. Suddenly, an alarm goes off, blaring through the entire apartment complex. All the way from the top to the bottom. It startles you as you're set in this mundane pattern. It begins blaring. It's the fire alarm. Fox, you do catch just the slightest smell of smoke as this alarm begins to sound.
Save my document, and then I'll stand up.
Okay. I'm assuming you take your. I mean.
Yes. Save. Close the laptop under the arm. And do I just smell it? I don't see it in my apartment anymore.
No, you're looking around. It's not yours. It's just it's like coming through the vent.
Okay. Then I will. I'm gonna do the thing I learned in 3rd grade. I'm gonna go to my door and fill it with the back of my hand. Make sure that the hallway is not on fire.
No, it is cool to the touch.
All right.
And you do have a steel door.
Oh right, that would have sucked. All right, then I will open it and just sort of I'm not going to take off at a bolt. I'm just going to kind of look around, see if I can get my bearings on the hallway and see if there's anything.
A few other people, like this top part, there's like 4 condos, right? Yeah. And there's you can see 2 and then 3 of the other individuals making their way down the emergency stairwell, beginning to make their way.
Then I will follow, instantly regretting that I live on the top floor.
Got you. Yes, you begin to make your trek down. Alice, it goes off. And through the
fucking annoyed.
Yep. And it smells like dusty smoke begins to make its way through the vent.
This is probably the 11th time this has happened. But because I actually smell smoke, I'm just like, fuck. I actually have to get up and go out. I'll probably just pull some jeans on over, my underwear, got a tank top on, grab a jacket, throw my phone, laptop, and camera in my backpack. Those are my most important things. And just I guess I'm starting my day early and I'll have to get just coffee for breakfast or something. But grab my headphones and just start making my way down and try to, avoid people who may not like me.
Gotcha.
judgy people.
Yeah. And you definitely, as you hit the stair, like you meet, and there's like this short, egg-shaped woman, gray-haired, pulled up in like the really messy bun, like moo with a bathrobe. She's got like her 2 cats in tow, blue flowered like daisy purse, but she, and like legit like house slippers, and she is glaring at you. Like she's that person, like you can tell she is just judging. She's totally the person that stalks you on social media just to be like, did you see that girl from down the hall, while she's sitting there in her like frilly pink moo. Like, this is that woman. And she's definitely glared at you before, like let the door close on you as you're entering in the apartment complex rather than holding it. Like she's that little old chatty Kathy.
I'll just like smile at her, like overly nice, to like, just so I can be not the bigger person, but so that if she were to talk shit about me, everyone could be like, oh, that nice looking girl, that sweet girl. So it's just like, I know you're a total bitch. Stop looking at me. I will throw your cats out the window. I do not care.
Yeah, and so she just like, she glares at you for this moment and just like briskly turns with her cats, who are just like dead weight. Like these cats don't do anything. Yeah, the cats are like, dear God, like they have like, they're groomed. Okay, these cats are groomed. Like they have like creative grooming going on. Okay,
oh, no.
They're not happy cats. But
Don't
yeah,
hate on Simon and Garfunkel.
they're not happy. But as she rounds the stairs, like she's just eyes ahead. You can tell like she's muttering something under her breath. And as you're looking down and you're making your way, both of the cats look up at you.
It's like I'm kind of over it. I'm trying to pretend that it's not happening, while inside I'm just like, can I have like 5 fucking minutes of normalcy, please?
Yeah. And as you kind of like roll your eyes and you look back, looking ahead, marching with the smelly little woman, making their way out of the apartment.
I don't like cats. They seem to be like the one animal that has like intent. Like other animals can behave weirdly and bark at stuff, but like they seem like the things that are around me, it's like they're watching me, and I'm just like, I hate this so much. I feel like I'm being spied on.
Yeah. So, Tyson, you're just reaching your board and you begin to move a thread. Do me a favor. This is just for funsies. Roll 2d10.
For funsies? There's no such thing as rolling these dice for funsies.
For my funsies, please roll 2d10.
2d10, 17?
17. You just, at this point, like you find yourself just reaching for a string. You're just going to reach for it.
Takes a handful of salt and throws it up in the air above him.
You throw it up in the air above you, and as it hits the air, the fire alarm goes off and you jump. You have flashbacks of Bradford, of the monstrous body attached to the desk, the screeching, the blaring alarms, screaming from other companions and inmates. Please roll Keep It Together.
It's so early.
Right? These dice are nice to me. Wait, Keep It Together is willpower? It's 20.
20. It's almost out of rage. You tuck that fear back. But the fire alarm is going off. And through the vent, you do smell dusty old smoke. This is real.
Immediately will grab my phone, take a picture of my board, take my camera, take a picture of the board, and I will reach on my nightstand and grab the I took pictures on my board yesterday that I printed already, so I can have physical copies of my board printed out already. Put those inside of my manila folder. I'm gonna cross the threshold of my bedroom, stepping over the salt line to my pantry, which will have this piece of paper of a ritual symbol on it. I will tear those to open my pantry, start grabbing all my garlic, my salt, all of my random like ingredients, throw those in my camera bag as well. And then I'm gonna take out my trench knife and my switchblade and put those in and put my coat on top of that, and then make my way towards the front door, reapplying all the salt lines and then reframing the salt on the top of my door sill as I head out of my door.
Okay. You do all of these things, you head out the door. You do see, you see familiar faces all briskly. Nobody's running, but you see people briskly making their way to the stairwell. In front of you, you see the egg-shaped woman and her cats glaring at the small blonde woman down the hall. As she turns down, you see the disdain of the familiar individual as they too begin to make their way down the stairwell. Make your way, and you begin to go down the stairwell. Fox, as you are reaching about midway point, a couple of rungs down, you now see that individual. They look just as disheveled as you remembered. A little more prepared right now, as clearly there's a fire. You're watching, and Alice and Tyson, you're watching all of these people making their way out of the building, and you're seeing what all of these people hold most dear, because that's seemingly what everybody has grabbed. There is one individual that you've all seen around that reaches the doors first. Like, as you all hit the lobby, it's this feminine figure. They always seem to be wearing a hoodie, have like side bag, kind of like tired look. They always keep to themselves, but every time you've met them in the hallway, they open the door. They've always been very polite, but they're very quiet. They've never said anything to you. But you see them make their way out first, and you notice that they're not carrying anything. There's nothing in their hands, just themselves. They turn back to look at the building as they hit the outside before everyone else and just take off walking down the sidewalk, as though there's nothing tying them to that place. And they disappear amongst the crowd that is now gathering in front of this building as the alarm is going off. There are now bystanders. Tyson, you are knocked into Alice, and Fox, you are standing there as you do see this happen, because there is somebody, there's like the tank top, still in his boxer shorts, didn't bother to get dressed, with his like very petite little wife, like he smells of beer still from the night before, and like just bumps into you and is just like, yeah, get out of it. Then just like walks past you, but knocks you into each other.
Sorry.
Fine.
And are we like we're outside, or we're like in the lobby?
You've just hit the sidewalk, like, and I mean, he like just walks past you and just knows you're there, knows he's bigger, and does not care.
All right, so once we get outside, Tyson doesn't play any games and openly will like turn to face the building, reach into his camera bag, pull out this random notebook, flip through the pages, and then we'll take out this like powder from his other stuff and just go and we'll start chanting something. Tyson immediately is going to see if there's something off about the building now to see through the illusion.
Okay.
It's an herbal blend of some random herbs that have been grounded up to a fine powder. The shock to the system is supposed to help stimulate something.
Yeah,
at least
Fox,
that's what he's read.
So like you guys are kind of almost standing on either side. Like Alice, like this person was thrown into you and you turn to look and this is what they're doing. Fox, like you've made your way. You see this situation happen and you see this reaction. Go ahead and roll.
All right. See through the illusion. That's gonna be plus 16.
16. Okay. Ooh. So
yeah.
Yeah. So you stare up at this building in this moment, Tyson. A snowflake hits you in the eye, but it burns. Only for your left eye to become clouded over, and you have no other recourse but to wipe it out. It's not snow. It's ashes. The building before you is decrepit. The windows are knocked out and broken. There are bodies strewn from some of these windows. Before the siren of a fire truck snaps you back. And you find yourself being stared at by both Alice and Fox. Alice looking at you as though you just bumped into me and then instead you snorted cocaine, maybe. And Fox is like taken aback.
And Walt Tyson, by the way, the chant is specifically Aquias tenebras tennis. Aquias tenebras tennis, like at least 3 times to start the enactment of it. And it's just, and then snaps back. Aquias tenebras tennis.
So I took out my phone to get on a realtor site and then realized I couldn't remember where the fuck I live. So I can't even look for new apartments. So I get pissed and just stand there and quietly, awkwardly.
Can I read a person to figure out what the fuck Tyson's doing?
Yeah, go for it.
And I also have intuitive as an advantage.
I rolled a what the fuck.
Could I roll what the fuck, please?
What the fuck is up with that?
What the hell is that?
So I total 10.
Okay. And what is intuitive? Read that for me. It's been a minute.
You can sense people's motives through subconscious readings of their body language, word choices, and behavior. Whenever you read a person, you may always ask one additional question regardless of the outcome of your roll.
Okay. Awesome. So, yep. You then you get 2 questions. And I mean, you can either take them from that list in the sheet, or you can just straight up ask me and it will be official.
I'm going to piggyback and do observant while they're doing this. I'm going to be observant of this conversation.
Okay.
I would like to know, what the fuck is he doing?
So you're sitting there, you hear the chanting. This sounds like some of the weird TikTok witchery things that you've seen. And like the powder was like a weird green substance. So you're like, looking, this is some kind of ritual of something. Those words, like, yeah, no, this is them trying to cast a spell. This is some kind of ritual. This is something of that nature.
I will add,
definitely a cult.
With that, I'll even say, that Latin phrase is, "What darkness do you hold?"
Yeah, it would have been something that, yeah, you would have
heard that phrase in some capacity. I will divulge.
Yeah. And your second one.
Does he seem dangerous?
Dangerous? Not exactly, not towards you. You can just tell in this moment, and then I'll give you this too, just in this moment, you don't feel like a threat from him towards you. You can tell that he's on edge, he's heightened aware. But for some reason, you look at him and you go, he sees it too. And there's a part of you that goes, is that what's going to happen to me? And Fox, with your observant.
I have to read a person, but I get additional questions if I get it right or whatever. Get it. So starting off strong. That's 4.
4. Oh my God. Okay. So both Alice and Tyson. Alice, you're looking back, and at the angle, you can see Fox is staring at both of you, but very blatantly, like is staring with phone out, like. And Tyson, like you look over, you see Alice looking like at you, but somehow through you, and you turn, and there is Fox openly staring at you.
What's up?
And then Tyson's vision turns back towards the building, getting basically trying to transplant the image of that decrepit building over on top, trying to map out where like his room was, and like trying to mentally grid like each floor, which room was what, like that 7B and so on, and just literally building a mental map of that, and then immediately sketching that into the blank pages of the notebook to get a sense of where things kind of were in the decrepit version of things.
So I immediately think he started the fire, of course, right? Like that's.
I mean, if that's what Fox is.
Do I see now that I'm outside, step back a little bit. Can we see anything?
You step back and there's definitely a cloud, like a small one, but it is coming up over. And you do see the firefighters do make their way past you as two police officers stand in front of the door.
And it's still snowing right now?
Yep.
Tyson's going to take some of the snow, do like a grinding thing, put some in a vial, and then like taste the rest of it.
Water.
And then is going to take some of the salt and some of the ice that was used normally for the cooler and try to keep it frozen for at least one vial. And another one is going to let it sit away from the rest of the stuff, not to ruin it.
Okay. So you guys are watching this person that you used to know had it together. Very strange behaviors.
Are you okay, man?
I'm fine. This doesn't add up. This is too big for it. This doesn't make sense.
The fire?
No, the building.
What about the building?
You wouldn't understand, but it doesn't work this big. Not normally, not usually. If it's this big, that means there's something lingering.
As you're standing there, the other residents seem to just trickle off. Like nobody seems to stick around. Even the little egg-shaped lady, as she walks away, the cats make eye contact with you again, Alice, before looking back the other way and going. But the three of you are left standing there.
I kind of look at like Alice, like help. Like, do you know anything about this man, or?
You haven't left. Then you see it too. You feel it.
Feel cold and annoyed.
No, not that. Do you know where we are?
The city?
But you don't know more than that, do you?
I mean, I know a lot about the city. Coffee shop right down the road. Decent espresso.
Can you name it? This place? This city?
That feeling builds behind you, Fox.
I immediately sort of peek over.
Nothing. Empty alleyway.
No, but it's not that weird, right?
What is your name? Who are you?
I'm Fox. You probably have heard of me.
Alice, you do know who Fox is.
That's who you are.
Yep. Ryder. Yeah.
Fox, you're going through the list. Penthouse, top floor. And then like looks at the building, like scanning the top floors and trying to get an idea of those areas. And then starts writing that note down.
What you writing here?
Your name, your floor, and the state of what your apartment was in.
Come off as very intense.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
It's begun.
What has begun?
The calling, the event, the culmination, whatever words you want to use, they have chosen now to start.
And you think the fact that I can't remember the name of the city has something to do with that?
It's not the fact that you can't remember, it's the fact that you acknowledge you don't remember.
Okay, that's fair. Alice, what about, I mean, you can, what city are we in? You can sort of square this up for us.
Yeah.
Buck.
Your name? It was
Alice.
Alice. This floor. Yeah.
Okay, that's creepy.
It's a little weird, man.
Yep.
I know the details of almost every person, every individual, every square block. The details shift.
As you're standing and you look behind Fox, in the alley, you see 3 gray fingers creeping back behind the building.
Gray fingers that remind me of father or different?
Of the music box, of under the bed, of moths.
If I remember, for Tyson, that creature was deemed friendly.
Yeah, like you'd seen it before, but you do see those familiar gray fingers that you did see at Bradford under the coat.
Tyson sprints for it.
I kind of give a look. I'm like,
and then like shouts out loud,
hurt himself.
He'll die in the open, and keeps running.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even know.
Do you two? So you see Tyson book past Fox. Do you follow?
I'm curious as hell. Yeah, I'm following.
May as well, now that my whole day's been thrown off. Something to do.
Yep. So you book behind Tyson. Tyson, you round that corner, and at the end of the alleyway, the small gray figure, bald head, black eyes, and a single moth crawling up out of the skin and across the shoulder before its head tilts. And as Alice and Fox round the corner, you blink. It's gone.
Did you do it? Or are you warning? Are you an alarm? Or are you an observer? Damn it.
Alice and Fox, you come up on Tyson staring down this alleyway at nothing.
I'm gonna pull out my phone and just start taking a few notes, like character concept notes in my phone.
I'm gonna walk up slowly beside him, careful not to touch him and startle him, but just kind of be like, "Hey, are you okay?"
You don't see it yet. I don't know if you can help me. But what if you're working for them? You can't keep me off the path.
I work for myself, sweetie. So if you need help, I can do my best to help you. I certainly believe that you saw something. but it's cold out, and I don't know if we have fully lost our place to live, but
that's not a place to live anymore. It's not a home. It's a morgue. It's a standing cemetery.
Expensive morgue. When's the last time you slept?
I slept last night. I closed my eyes. It's irrelevant. The longer you sleep, the deeper they get you.
Who's that? You keep saying they.
No, trying to explain it. The world we are in is not the reality in which we observe. It is a fabrication of an entity with a goal. We are pieces in a game. Members of a performance for some, or a meal to be consumed when fully prepared.
So you're saying that this entity, this thing, manipulates the world in which we live in, that we're sort of puppets?
This is the ninth. I've been in too many realities, and they're all converging, and this one's is both the same as the second and yet different.
And as you're sitting there listening to this, you both get the feeling he's not lying to you. For some reason, it feels true.
I have just enough left to help you get a glance, a moment. And Tyson starts reaching through his camera bag, takes a few powders, starts grinding it up into like a handheld mortar and pestle, and then takes that. Who's closest to Tyson? So who's the closest to Tyson right now?
Probably Alice, because... Yep.
So, like, as it's being grinded, we'll take it in hand and then blow a puff of it towards Alice to cause enough shock to hope, and then we'll Guas tenebras tenes. I'd like to use my enhance. No, I'm gonna go with. I would try to use bound to try and have Alice see at least a flash of what I saw.
Okay, use it.
That is 9. That's 12.
12. Okay. Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this powder hits your face. Tyson, a cackle of guttural, deep laughter racks through your brain. Alice, you are standing there. This powder hits, and as you wipe it from your eyes, the ground beneath you, the brick alleyway, is wet and muddy. You lift your feet, it's sticky. It smells of iron. You look down and towards the street. There's blood coating this alleyway. It runs to the street. The snow that's falling is ash. The buildings immediately to your left and right are decrepit. The sky above you is clouded over. There's a rumble, a crack of lightning. They're red. And you again, your eyes are burning, and you wipe them once again just to be standing next to Tyson and Fox in your previous reality.
You saw the blood, the buildings. We are stuck in a game, and they have chosen to start it.
And this is a lot to take in. Is there an end goal of this game? What is...
I have learned that until you can find out who the controllers, this analogy is hard. The entities that create this realm, there was always one that is the main domain-focused individual, and they are aiming to play. The only reason it's a game is I have leverage now. Father guides me, or at least what's left of me. We must survive. We must find out the truth before we get lost into the lies.
So do you know who holds domain here?
No, this one doesn't make sense to me. I've been in the mansion, the asylum. I've been in other places, but I've been here. But here was real before, or maybe that one wasn't, but it's a different here, which means the one there is different than here. The only one that's the same is the one from the boat.
So who held domain over the mansion?
I'm not quite sure. It was heritage, lineage caused that one to lock, but I failed and ended up in the asylum. That one was the head nurse. Not the one in charge, though. She was the one in charge of the patients. And I ended up here, through the door. I got away from her.
I'm going to bring up my phone, and as a writer, you do some really weird internet searches. So part of the would be the, you know what I'm talking about, and some of the occult images that I had recently searched through, and just kind of flip through and see if any of those kind of like make a connection with him, because it does sort of register that this stuff is similar to what I've been researching recently.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to kind of thumb through. And I would assume, I don't know about the nurse, but I am going to guess that I've probably come across the moon face man at least once in my research. He seems like the type that would allow people to write about.
Yeah, so like you begin flipping through, suddenly a sick smile on one of the images catches your eye. Alice, that smile catches your attention as well. It was a nightmare, but you've seen that smile. You don't recognize the face, but you've seen that smile. Tyson, your heart sinks.
Him. Moon. The smile.
You're saying this shit is like real?
It's more real than you understand.
I mean, I kind of always thought it was real, but like over there.
No, it's everywhere. We're all pieces in a game being played, pulled from table to table, board to board, to play a different field for a different team each time, either to be hunted, to be used, to be manipulated, but all to satiate an insurmountable hunger that cannot be satiated.
Wait, so what's real? What is that?
That is, he wanted us to stay. The mansion, he wanted to keep us, but he was not strong enough to keep us. He was weakened. We'd weakened him. Jack. And then we made it to the asylum. And Nora, nurse, she wanted to play, to control, to feed,
Fox, you wrote a short story about somebody named Jack.
A detective.
Yeah, he's overlapped. He was there the day of the yacht, and then he was with me at the mansion, and then his memories were in Teddy's roommate, Black says Silas. Silas had memories of Jack's wife was at the asylum. All things are connected.
Alice, one of your followers is Silas.
Oh.
At least somebody named Silas Black. They have like 3 profile pictures. They look really super hipster, tatted up.
Fair.
Gonna keep that to myself.
Yeah.
So now
I don't know what's crazier, like you saying this or the fact that I'm still standing here.
if you're here and you're connected, which means you're not part of this game, not as a pawn, as a player or a piece more important than a pawn. View these games like chess. The lady with the cats, the man in the suit, each one is a pawn used to get to the objective. We are the rook, the bishop, the knight.
From down the alleyway, a cat, solid black, fluffy cat, has perched itself just at the end of the alleyway. Alice, it catches your attention first, but this cat is standing and staring and catching every single word you're all saying. It's been sitting there for a couple of minutes.
Only Alice noticed the cat right now, right?
Yeah, Alice is the only one thus far that has noticed because of her disdain.
Favorite enemy, cats. Can I like throw a piece of trash at it?
Yeah. Go ahead and just roll 2d10 with like, just roll a straight 2d10. We'll be fine. No need for anything crazy. 12. Yeah. So you throw like.
I'm not trying to hurt it. Just like to.
Yeah. There's like a crushed like beer can next to you, and you just take it, you just chunk it, and it like lands next to it, and it watches it, and just stares at you again. You now, Tyson and Fox both see Alice throw, and now take notice of the cat that does not move.
Oh no. It shows cats. They have cats. We're running out of time.
I'm not saying I don't believe you, because I think I'm on board with your ship. But are we going to freak out over everything? It's a cat.
It's not just a cat. In each realm, domain.
As it
Can
stands
we
up
Aaron
and
Sorkin?
begins,
Can we walk and talk?
Yeah, like it begins to like walk towards you, like, you know, doing the like slinky cat walk, its tail flicking.
No. Subway. The subway. We need to find the subway.
The cat continues to approach you all. Are you walking?
Tyson, if Tyson can remember where the subway is going to head that way, taking the route not towards the cat.
Okay. Tyson begins to turn and walk. Fox and Alice?
I'm going to linger for I just want to get like a little close. Like, I'm not going to go towards the cat, but I'm going to let the cat come to me a little bit, just so I can get a better visual to see if I see anything that's like beyond a black cat, because to me it looks normal.
Alice, are you following Tyson, or are you staying with Fox? As Fox is clearly like reaching at the cat.
Less following Tyson, more avoiding the cat, and just kind of like a your funeral sort of situation.
So Fox, the cat gets like a couple feet away and begins purring. And it does like the blinky thing, you know? It like begins to walk up like it's it's kind of sniffing, and it begins to walk up to you and like rubs this like across your leg.
I'll bend down and do the little, smell the finger thing.
It smells and does like the little cheeky rub.
They're crazy. Do I see anything, like any eyes particularly, that give me kind of a apprehension?
Go ahead and I will let you make a roll. What would you like to roll to observe a kitten? Observe a kitten.
I know it says read a person.
Yeah, read a kitten.
Can I read a kitten, please?
Read a kitten.
All right.
I will allow you to read the kitten.
13.
13. Okay. Read the kitten. What are you?
So I'm gonna use the observant, and in my observant feat thing, I get is there anything odd about you? So that's the question I'm gonna sort of pose to myself because it's a cat.
Yeah. The cat, like, it seems weirdly aware. It's like it sees you. It's like it like knows you. It's strange. Like this cat is just like some cats like seem like they have the game figured out, right? Like they know their place in the world and they know how to work. This cat is that, but more so.
Okay. I'm not afraid of the cat, but
Number 2.
That kind of gives me the willies. So I'll just sort of stand up and I'll give it one more little scratch on the head, and then I will sort of take off in that same direction. But when I get like 10 feet away, I'm going to turn around to see the status of the cat.
Gone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay.
And as you turn around to continue to follow, it's in front of you.
Okay.
It hisses as you like go to follow Tyson. And it swipes at you. So I will need you to, you can make your choice, but what do you do in this moment when this cat goes to?
Instinctively, I'm going to avoid harm, I guess.
Okay.
And is he close enough for me to hear the cat hissing?
Yeah, you're like maybe 15 feet ahead, but you hear this. Alice, you definitely hear this cat like, and like you hear that as...
It's a 9.
It's a 9. Yeah, so like it just manages, like as you throw, it manages to swipe at your shin. It slices through your pant leg. Before bolting between your legs and down the road. And Tyson and Alice, you turn to see this. There is about a 2-inch long, just a scratch that burns like fire on your shin.
The cat was a son of a bitch.
It's their default setting.
I like cats. I don't think it wanted me to follow you, if that sounds normal. It doesn't sound normal. It was fine when it thought I wasn't going towards you.
And is the cat still like within range?
Like it booked it and it like ducked behind something. It's one of those things where you look and it's gone.
I said don't. It's not. It's part of the pawns. It leads you off the path, away into nothing, only to leave you broken.
Why is this starting to make sense? Okay.
Subway?
Subway?
And as we're walking, the basic rules to understand is that the way the domain works is that it uses tools, individuals, essence, entities of the particular design. We are in a city, so things common here are problematic. In reality, the things that don't make sense are the things that are the most comfortable.
Alice, you get a phone notification. Your phone vibrates. S Black. Black. Missing your post today. Heart eyes on like an old post.
I'm gonna like turn my phone away from them. Like, are we in the subway or still walking?
No, you're still walking. Like the subway entrance is like a few blocks away.
I would assume I'm pretty like experienced in like doing shit on my phone while I'm walking, but I'm also like, you know, take the phone closer to my face and like just trying to find something that older and just be like trying to post something so it doesn't look like I'm dead yet.
So wait, all the people that like have read my books, they're real, right?
It's complicated. It depends on when you got here. Everything before this city could be real or could have been a different reality. But if you came here, everything is false here.
Can I recall how long I've been here?
Roll 2d10.
13.
13. It's been some years. Like, you know, you move. It's like the 3 to 5. Like you've been here and you hit the sweet spot. Like you're finally established. Writing's going good. You're moving on up, right? Like you're just on the cusp of something really great. You can feel it.
Okay, so it's been a few years.
Crack
I
of
moved
thunder.
Here. We need to get to the subway.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in the snow.
This is not snow.
What is it?
Oh, you didn't see. I can't show you. I can't waste all of Father's resources that quickly.
It's something horrible from what I saw. So let's.
As we're walking, do I get a feeling the cat's following us?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
At some point, you look over your shoulder and like across the street on the other side, you look over, there's nothing. And as you come to like round back, perfectly across the street, it's walking and staring at you.
Okay, I'm going to start doing that like 80-year-old woman, like power walk thing.
Heel toe.
The snow becomes heavier. You eventually make it to the subway entrance, but the gate is closed and chained. And it says temporarily out of order at this entrance.
Typical.
I'm gonna.
It is getting colder rapidly. I will say, Fox, you do know you are only 3 blocks away from your favorite coffee shop.
Tyson's gonna pull out his camera to go over the board and try to look at specifically the article about the subway that the string. Did it mention which specific station? Like, is it this one, a different one, or anything particular?
So, you know, in the city, there are 12 entry points into the subway that it kind of makes like somewhat of a circle into the city. You know that this is entry point 11. You're not certain if it was 2 or 12. You remember the number 2, but you're not certain if it was either 2 or 12.
Yeah, and I assume if I zoom in, it won't be enough for the picture I took. Okay.
Also, thanks for the raid.
The subway, but we need station 212.
Your jaw begins to chatter as the temperature is dropping.
We need comfort.
I didn't exactly put on the winter clothes before I escaped my room. There's a coffee shop just up the road a little bit if you want to go maybe there and figure this out. 2 and 12 are on opposite ends of the city. A city, I don't know anymore.
Fine.
The likelihood of a cat being allowed in a coffee shop versus a subway.
I like that.
Alice, did you say that?
It's a cat cafe. No.
You look behind Fox and about 15 feet back, that little black cat is sitting in the snow staring.
To the coffee shop. We need to get a place that I can barricade. I can create charms.
Yeah. I'll sort of head off in that direction, kind of leading the way.
So you head off, leading in that direction. You round a corner. Everybody in the street stops and slowly turns to look at you. Crash of thunder, crack of lightning. Everything goes dim briefly before everyone is walking down the street as normal. On the other side of the street, sitting on the corner, is a small black cat watching you enter into the coffee shop.
As soon as everything returned to normal, though, I'm going to look to the two of them and just not say anything, but just kind of look for affirmation that maybe they experienced the same thing I just did.
Find your way. Just a little note.
Is there multiple people inside the coffee shop already?
There's like the barista, and there's like the super hipster chick sitting in one corner. There's like a bar along the wall. She's got like a laptop open, sitting in a stool. She's doing some kind of typing. And over like off to and one of the couches, there's a guy, feet propped up on the coffee table reading a book. But that's it. Chill, like modern jazz music, real low.
Is there any like salt shakers on any tables?
There's sugar shakers on every table.
I need salt. Okay, then. As they enter, Tyson's going to reach into the camera bag, pull out a little thing of salt, pour like a little tray along the door frame. And then we'll walk away from the door frame.
Going to immediately turn to the room and just make sure that nobody's having the same reaction I used to have whenever he did that sort of thing.
Alice is the only other one watching.
Okay, cool. Also, despite how afraid I am right now, the gentleman reading the book, is it one of mine?
As you like look over at the cover, just roll me a 2d10 to see how like nonchalant you are about staring.
14.
A 14? You're pretty chill about it. You look over, kind of do like, and yes, it is one of your books.
Okay, keep that to myself.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I want to like notice him, like obviously what he's doing, and like also keep it to myself, but just like be observant of how much he loves himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's something that you look for those traits. So you notice you've caught on already.
Tyson's gonna head over to the counter where the barista's at. I need your coffee. I need ginger. I need tea leaves. Grounded coffee beans. I'll take one of all of each of your herbal options.
Okay, but that's like a lot of money, because like I can't like just give you wholesale, and we have like 15 like herbal tea options. Were you wanting like good night sleep stuff, or like
the
I walk up and try and translate into like human speak?
It's
hey, sorry, we're just having like a little out of office meeting in here. You know, the weather, it's really messed up our inter-office Wi-Fi and all that. So if we could get like, we're expecting a bunch more people and we want to get some stuff started. So could we get like, how many teas do we need? How many people are we expecting? Like how many different types of tea do we need?
12 and ginger, not brewed, just the leaves.
So can we get like 12? You know, there are a bunch of different people. I don't know them that well, but I want to make sure everyone's nice and warm. So could I get 12 cups of tea with just the tea bags, and then like a pot of boiling water, and we may be thinking about ordering some food. So if we could get just like some salt for the table and maybe some ginger so people can add that to their tea and some agave and that sort of stuff. And we'll just be over there in the corner.
We can tell you we have like a study hall room, but like
perfect.
It has like a bunch of chairs and stuff. They don't like match or whatever, but you could totally I can like do that. It'll take me a minute because I'm like here by myself, but I can do that if that's like
that is totally fine.
Just put it on my card. It's on. You have it on file, actually.
Yeah, we have, and you'll get your discount. And she like starts getting like, you can tell like the swooning, the fawning, right? It's everybody knows who Fox is, but she like immediately just starts gathering all of this up. You can see the doorway. It's like two kind of orangey aged wood doors with like the seed glass, so you can't quite see through the glass. Like you kind of can. You can make out figures, but it's not really detailed. You could like go through the doors, all industrial, like Edison lighting, right? There's like mixed match chairs, a table that's been like painted one too many times and will never not be sticky. Has like the napkin holders, but the door closes behind you, and it takes her about 10 minutes because she just kind of brings all of these little teacups, puts all of the herbs in, and just has like the pot of water like sitting at the center, and just kind of just like, okay, let me know if you like need anything, and like
thanks,
closes the door. There is one window, by the way, in this room that looks out. It is also seed glass.
So we're in this little private S room now, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson immediately goes through some of the ingredients in his camera bag and starts to once again mortar and pestle. Then we'll take his knife and we'll like cut along his hand to drip blood into it to grind that, and then we'll take some of that and like rub it on the door frame. Illuminio not sanguinium. Okay.
I just want to look over at Fox and be like, "You're never going to be able to come back here."
That's it. That's all she wrote.
And then we'll head over to the window and we'll do the same, taking the other excess and put that on the window piece. Illuminant sanguinem, which is illuminate the blood. It's an attempted ritual that just in case something tries to pass by, my blood I will feel the pain in my cut if something passes that threshold that shouldn't.
Tapping.
Oh, the tapping.
Bottom right corner as you look over. It's a small hand tapping.
The gray finger?
Yep.
Kind of like approach and crouch. Yeah, you're here.
The face pops up and jumps at the window to where its mouth is on the glass. Its teeth are covered in blood. You now see this? You would, if you look over at this moment, you now see Tyson for the first time. You see this creature's mouth. You see its teeth, all serrated, sharp teeth, coated in blood on this window. You see the boils and the pocks on its body, just the dark impact on its flesh. Before it slides back down and its hand runs through it.
Well, joke's on them. I was never coming back anyway. What was that?
I don't know. I can't tell if it's
with that and seeing the blood, I will need you all, especially the newbies, to roll Keep It Together.
Yep.
You've seen things, but not like this.
Double sixes. Keep It Together is willpower. 14.
Ooh.
14, okay.
20.
Okay. Alice?
Ooh. That would be a 6.
A 6. Okay. So, Fox, in this moment, you're just like, I can't even. You're just so shocked at what you saw that you're in disbelief almost. You managed to still those fears. Tyson, you've seen this before. You've seen worse, to be frank, and you choke all of that back down. Alice, however, this is confirmation in your reality that things are not as they seem. The blood, the sharp teeth, it sends your mind into a strange place, and you just become tormented and scared in this moment. You do lose 1 stability. But you are completely anxious, and you are scared in this moment. Everything right, you're the little kid sitting in the shopping mall who just happened to walk away from the parents and aren't quite sure where they are. You're not so horrified that you're in panic, but you're just on the cusp of trying to keep it together to find them.
Okay.
I can't. Are you here to help, harm, hinder, aid? I need to write this down, and we'll take out the notebook and start writing.
The waitress comes through the door, bringing just like a bunch of napkins, and it's just like, okay, we're gonna have to charge you extra cleaning.
It's fine. Put it. Yep.
Okay. And she like sets the napkins and like some scones down, and is kind of like backing out of the room. And as like she backs and hits that door, you all see that familiar resident, hoodie pulled over their head, tired, grabbing a quick cup of coffee, and you can see them handing over money, taking the coffee. And as the door swings shut, you can see them walking towards the exit before seeing a dark figure cross in front of your window.
So you're like Morpheus, and I'm Neo, and you're the girl wearing all the latex and stuff, right? With all the guns. Is that basically what we're talking about here?
What?
Nothing. Is that girl real? As I point to the girl that's walking by.
Real-ish? Not a... I don't... It's hard to say what's real, but I know that she's not malicious yet.
What's the point of all this? Like, is it a game as in like they're... all of this is fake and they just enjoy watching us live like shitty lives? Is there an end game? Like, I don't understand like what the whole purpose of this game is.
I didn't understand until the asylum, but there we were stuck as patients, and the therapists, doctors, they fed off of our feelings. We would speak on our anguish and they would gain sustenance. It's like starts going through notes. It's like a form of torture in which they feed off of the resulting sensation, experiences, and torment. Some more playful and trickery, others more malicious and murderous. Some invite your friends to a party on a boat, and only a handful survive.
That was a lot. And so we don't know what's going on here. Why the subway? I never asked. I was more focused on the cat.
Eleonora,
the answers in the subway
told me that the article of a murderer in the subway, and the murder in a subway, blood on the floors, is a catalyst, a trigger, an outcome, a result, a correlation to the circumstances.
Are they Eleanor? Are it? Who's that?
My dead girlfriend. No, not girlfriend. Sorry.
As you look up, Tyson, in the corner, there is a pale figure staring.
I'll figure this one out. I can, while like looking over in that corner. This one's more confusing than others. It's a bigger playground to work with.
Outside, there is a scream.
I'm gonna book it out there.
Don't just
book
yeah.
Book it out. You swing the door open. The salt flies. Outside, there is a woman in panic, frantically screaming, saying, "They've taken her! They've taken her!" Pointing, and there is a black van rounding a corner.
Taking who?
Alice, behind you, sitting on the shelf, is a black cat, staring now at you and Tyson.
I had made it past the salt line.
He just stares.
The van? The subway? Too many options. Too many possibilities.
It lunges off of the shelf at you, Tyson. Over Alice. It flies over Alice's head and towards you, Tyson.
I know it's hard to judge this, but does the cat seem jumping at me maliciously?
Yes, its claws are like it snarls and is lunging out at you.
If possible, I would like to inner power against this cat. Let's see, that's roll plus soul. Using the still kind of bloodied hand because it's never really cleaned the wound fully.
Yep.
That is going to be a 15 for my inner power as a conversus abhakvia, as a Latin for turn from this path.
Okay. You mutter this under your breath, and the cat folds in half. It snaps and flies to the wall, back onto the shelf. It lies there briefly before you begin to hear as you can see bones snapping back into place.
We need to go now.
As its deflated chest begins to expand again.
Zachary Bink style.
Yeah, so you guys...
I'm outside still,
yes,
right?
so you're outside, and the woman is pointing, and you can see these policemen come up calmly, walk out of the car up to this woman who is trying to frantically explain what she just saw. This young woman in a hoodie was just taken by this black van.
Oh, I didn't catch that before. So
that's a new detail. As you're standing there, she's saying this out loud. And she's frantic. I mean, and and the cops are blank-faced, taking in this information. You can see them ask the woman to get into the vehicle as she is frantic. She needs assistance.
I just want to walk up behind Fox and kind of over his shoulder into his ear, I'm trying not to draw attention, just be like, is there a back way out of this place? Employee, anything?
Do I know that?
You do know there is a back entrance. You've had to take it once because of a rowdy fan.
Right, of course. Yeah, I'll tell her to relay that. Yeah, there's a back exit.
You see the woman get into the car. The cops drive the opposite direction of the van.
We should walk, not run.
That was the weirdest interaction I've ever seen.
No, I get it. I get it now. It makes a little sense.
Really?
It's continuity, focus. It's structure. If you behave in society, you'll be fine. You act out of line. Seems to cause circumstances.
Okay.
Mind, Fox, Tyson, and Alice. In the back of your mind, you all hear, just play the game. And that is where we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. So we do have a giveaway for this episode from our lovely 10D20 makers, my friends. So you will enter in keyword nightmare into the chat to get a chance at 5 of our beautiful little 10 to 20 puzzles. They kicked my butt, but maybe you can be better than me. I make resin dice, not foldable ones. I cut myself on those little buggers because I am not good at them. But I've seen them be good, just not by me. So we will be back shortly to continue unleashing kitty horrors on my friends. We'll be back. Welcome back to Spooky Meow Meow Time. I'm kidding. This is Far Realms, the KULT Divinity Lost Homebrew campaign where I terrorize my really favorite people with cats. Again, enter Nightmare into the chat to get a chance at 10d20 puzzles from Mithril Armory because they're really freaking cool. And I really like the one that somebody gave me that they made for me. So do that. Okay. So last we left, you begin to evacuate the coffee shop. Fox, you witness the police officers take away the woman trying to report that someone has been taken, going in the opposite direction of the van that you did witness going around the corner, and it was a solid black van. Alice and Tyson, you run from the inside of the coffee shop after Tyson is attacked by a spooky meow meow. Tyson and Alice, you do see this. You see what power Tyson unleashes seemingly to snap this cat in half and throw it to the wall before the cat does begin reassembling. So you are all outside. Fox, do me one favor. Can you roll observe a situation before we move on? Because I forgot to have you do that.
Ooh, observe a situation. -1, 14.
14. Okay. I will say from that, just as like all of this is going on, you see on the back of the van a circle emblem. You didn't clearly get the emblem. You didn't like make out the details, but you've lived in whatever this city is long enough to know that emblem is the same one that rests on the largest skyscraper in this city. That is Advanced World Industries, the largest corporation that functions out of this city, run by a circle of very bougie gentlemen.
Is the coffee shop normal now? Like, can I head back inside? Okay.
Well, as you go to enter, I mean, Alice comes out and Tyson close in tow.
I need to get on the internet, and I'm gonna just sort of brush past it really fast, and sit down at whatever the closest table is. Open the laptop that I've been carrying around this whole time,
okay,
and look up that symbol and that industry, and just try to go to their webpage, get some basic information about what they are and who they are.
Okay, so Alice and Tyson, Fox just rushes past you back into the coffee shop, sits down at the table, opens the phone and starts. And as you look in the shop, it's normal. Cat's gone. There's not even salt on the floor.
Like the line, or just in general, a salt's gone?
It's all gone. Clean.
We're in the main area of the coffee floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just sat at the closest table near the door, just quick.
Can we see the back room from this spot?
Yeah, you can see the door. It looks like the door's clean. There's no symbol on the door anymore.
Okay, the symbols are gone. It means it's in. Something's in. It's here. It's near. I can't sense it now then.
Fox, through your search, you look them up. Typical corporate, blah, blah, blah. We seek to expand the world's industries to make them better, blah, blah, blah. through our family here at Advanced Age Industries.
Gross.
And our teamwork. Yep.
Any scandals, tabloid type stuff, anything that's gone on overseas, anything that's like sort of made the news about this company?
6 months ago, there were employees complaining of short breaks, low pay, the usual from such entities. And they did attempt to unionize. And that was the last anybody heard of it. No change ever happened. Nothing ever became of the union. All that was mentioned was that the CEO, a one Mr. Samael Walker, quieted all of the rumors and assured everybody that employees had been compensated, pay had been increased, their employees were in a much better working environment than they had been previously. You are muted.
Is there a chance that guy, like, I would recognize him or anyone with the name Walker as one of my followers?
You absolutely know who Samael Walker is. They're like almost the mayor. Like, they're not the mayor, but they might as well be the mayor. And you've seen them on socials, like mostly people being like, oh my God, he's totally in my shop right now. Like, this person, and everyone seems like super intimidated by them. But somehow they seem unable to not just adore this person.
Do our circles overlap at all?
Occasionally, you've been at a couple of dinner parties, press releases. Like, they're kind of in everything that's important. And Alice they're not one of your followers, but they have liked a couple of your posts here and there.
But they're not like paid subscribers.
Yeah.
They wouldn't make it obvious.
Mm-hmm. At least not under that name that you're aware of.
Yeah.
But yes, Tyson, you come to the table and you see Samael.
Tyson's gonna take a moment and just kind of like almost one of those frozen, not shock states, but like when you're so deep in thought that you just stare at something and is just staring dumbfounded. And after a few moments, will immediately start to shuffle through notebook pages of random rituals, spells, terms, and other things. Is this your doing, or are you part of this? Did you make this, or no? Why? This doesn't make sense.
I'm going to fill in the gaps for him as well while he's doing that of why that is up on my screen. I saw the van. It has the symbol. Symbol let me hear. I didn't see the girl get taken, but the woman said that she was in this van and the van had this symbol on it. And it was headed in that direction? Do I know that?
Yeah, it was headed seemingly headed towards just the opposite direction. It just went the opposite direction. The way that the city works, it's like on a giant grid system, and at its center,
the grid system, motherfucker.
Yep. At its
would it be headed in the general direction of the tower of the industries facility?
So you also know that this industry is also what built the subway in the city. The subway circumvents the whole city.
Yep.
Of course, and at the center of the city is not only Town Hall, but Industries Tower.
Do you recognize? Well, I mean, of course you recognize the name. He's kind of famous here.
I don't understand. What does Father have to do with this?
He's your dad?
No. It's complicated. no, maybe. I technically don't know who my father is. But him, a version of him, a spawn of him, is connected, bound, tied to me.
I mean, I could probably get us in there if we want to go. Do we want to go?
To what end? I just don't understand.
I mean, I would really like weird shit to stop happening to me. Like, if that's the end, then I'm good with that. Like, I mean, I don't really know you guys too well, but like, this is a weird day for sure. But like, it's like in the top 5 over the past month, if you catch my drift. It's not. It seems like weird shit has been happening a lot recently. It's culminated in this day. It's culminated in him, actually, but more so this entire day. So if we follow your lead, Tyson, to make that stuff stop happening, and I could go back to my life, that would be exceptional.
Well, we have to first play the game. The game is set very particularly. We were first removed from the building, then set down the street to head towards the subway, the coffee shop. However, we are diverted by the cat trying to keep us off the path. Every objective has at least some obstacles. So based on this information, the tower is next, or the center.
So, fuck it. Let's do something that. Let's think of something else to do. If everything's pointing to the tower, let's go to the police station or something. I don't know. Let's just. It sounds like you're saying that we don't have free will.
If you divert too much, things get violent. You want to play the game to get to the actual final steps. From the final steps, that's when the will is changed. Things shift. In a sense, we're playing the game, but we're still on the bench. The field is at the next step. The police aren't on our side.
Right, yeah, no, I didn't.
You're not
I wasn't
wrong.
implying that.
But the city's not on our side. It's only in a city full of structure, order, rules, the things that are chaotic, disordinate, discordian, those are our avenues. The murder of the subway.
Teetering, and I don't really want to throw a wrench on that, tightrope. But like, how do you know that we aren't an obstacle?
You could be, but you can see what I see. You might be an obstacle, but if you are, I have ways to deal with malicious entities of a lesser scale.
T.
Alice,
T.
your phone goes off again. Notification. Like,
I'm a little jealous that she's getting some notifications.
comment S Black. Wow, you look really great today. I wish you could be at the party that I'm going to tonight. It's supposed to get pretty crazy. Hearts. Winky face.
I want to text back. Well, my schedule just opened up. Maybe I'll drop by. Send the deets.
Almost instantly, you see the bubbles pop up. And it responds, subway route number 12.
So I'll just like tap back and just put a thumbs up. And just keep that to myself. But I'll say, gross. I'll say to Tyson, like, if this is something you really believe in, I believe that you believe it. This could all be one shared hallucination. It could just be a really bad dream I'm having. But I feel like I want to help you. So I think your original idea of the subway, like that seems like the goal we were headed towards. I don't think we should go to the cops, even going to their tower headquarters, whatever. I think that's a bit too obvious. Could be some sort of trap. So if you've been...
There's a lot of people there too.
Yeah. So I think we should trust your instinct and, go to the subway, the 12th station, if that's what you said you wanted to do.
It was 2 or 12. I can't remember, and based on the image, it could be either.
Do we want to check your... I mean, the place might be okay to enter again. We don't know. It's been how long has it been? Not long.
Well,
hour or two.
I was going to say it's probably been at this point it would have at least been an hour that you guys have between the alleyway, making your way here, talking, sitting, prepping. It's been about an hour since you left the apartment.
We can check your place if we maybe can get back in.
No, you returning wouldn't make sense. If the fire was meant to lure us out, returning to there would just put us in danger. I saw what the building was supposed to become.
Right.
The door to the coffee shop creaks open and stops.
Who's there?
Yeah.
No one.
Anticipate.
That's it.
Immediately, Tyson's going to throw a pinch of salt towards the door.
Does anyone else react? The guy with the book, the barista?
Nope. As though it didn't even happen. Throw a pinch of salt at the door.
So by your logic, this is the cue to leave.
It is. Quickly. And Tyson gathers all the loose leaves and all the items, make sure it's all set, and then keeps the knife in the right arm but tucked under the coat, and has pinches of extra herbs in different pouches of the pants, and starts to head out. I don't know if we should do the front door though. I don't know what's watching or if nothing's watching, but we need to leave.
There's a back door.
If we were close to station entry 11, the closest would be 12. If we're wrong at 12, then we'd have to get across town to 2. So, worst case scenario, if 12's wrong, we can cross through the station to 2.
I trust you.
I don't, but this is going to make a great book.
And lead us out the back way. Something's off. Something's coming.
I'm going to drag all the links that I just looked up into a folder, close the laptop, and start making that way that direction.
Okay, you guys make your way towards the back entrance, which is of course between there's restroom, and then emergency exit. Although emergency is a strong word, it's really just a door and they have the exit above it. You can tell there's nothing fancy about this door. And as you open that back door and look behind you, reaching all the way to there is a black shadow that seems to be growing across the floor. A pointed silhouette with 2 peaks. The cat's shadow of it sitting in the door is growing, stretching out towards you like a hand.
I'm holding the door. Go, 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 go.
Make your way. Close the door behind you. You're in an alleyway.
Okay. Based on where we're at, Station 12 is following the rest of the loop. It's a distance, but we can get there. We have to get to the station. Is it still like really cold out?
Yes.
Oh, I hate this.
Forgot about that.
We either have to go through that or we have to go through the tunnel of 11 to get to 12.
And there are like rumors that like, there are rumors that like the sewers connect to the subway. There's stuff like that.
How far is 12 from, like, what would be the distance between 11 and 12?
Based on the size of the city and the distance, it's probably, like in city, it's probably like 5 miles. But, if you're walking, because you're mostly walking through this place, could take forever. That's why the subway's so popular.
Okay, so that's really not an option unless, you're okay
and
with losing toes.
They're like sectioned off too. So it's like 11 and 12 are like 5 miles, 9 and 10. Whereas like between 10 and 11 is probably a good 10 to 15 miles. Like there's bigger stretches between these
districts and zones.
Between the 6 clubs. Yeah.
Can I send a text or a DM to Silas and be like, hey, do you know a shortcut to get to Station 12? Like it's cold out and I want to, I look too cute to put a coat over this outfit. But to them, I'm going to be like, my ex used to work in the sewers, like he was part of the city works and everything. I'm going to see if there's a faster way to do all this. So I'll just text Silas.
You immediately get a response through the DM that's like, there's this old warehouse where I used to like, it just says like used to hang. And in there was like, basically there was sewer access and you could go like 2 rights and then straight down and you would find a vent that led directly into the subway.
Well, good news. Have a shortcut. Might be a little sketchy, but it will be faster if you guys are willing.
How did you come up with that?
I just told you my ex used to work for the city, like for the public works and everything.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, where's that at then?
They said there's a warehouse within a few blocks, and we'd have to cut through the sewers.
They like, and then you get it back. It's the old shoe warehouse, and
the old Bata warehouse.
And it's like, and with like saying that, like you guys know that there's like this big abandoned warehouse like within a couple blocks. It takes up like half a block itself, and it used to be like different factories. Like they just kept going under.
And then Tyson, just without like saying another word, goes in like a semi-power walk towards that way.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. But as I walk, I'm just going to kind of on my phone, just sort of, search some terms out. Black cat, occult, sightings, followings, all that sort of stuff. Just the stuff that we've seen, I'm going to start searching for to see if anything pops up.
Okay.
I
just realized I said black cat and occult. Like nothing's going to come up there. That's going to be super specific.
I was going to say, hey, put a Boolean that search.
I will say as you're looking, and I mean, you even like look into some of the incidents that end up surrounding, because there were investigations after that, disappearances. You'll notice in a couple of the pictures of crime scenes, whether it's in the background in a corner, you do see a familiar black cat, fluffy black cat in a couple of those pictures, seemingly watching.
Awesome. That was not reassuring at all. Quite the opposite.
Yeah. So you guys make your way through the snow, and there's the warehouse. Like, the door is ajar and broken. It was once upon a time chained, but now it's been knocked down enough that it's like dangling and you can just step in. Super dusty, still chilly, not quite as cold as the outside, just because the wind chill is absent. But lo and behold, even at the center of the floor where there's like runoff, there is a very large, like 3-foot grate at the center that clearly was used for water runoff from the various machines that they had.
This would be the only way into the sewer, I believe.
Oh boy. At least it's not summer, I guess.
And then Tyson's going to try and move the grate, seeing how heavy it is, just in case first.
I mean, it's decently heavy. I mean, it's a cast iron grate. Also, Alice, as you say, at least it's not summer. You realize that it feels like ages since you've been able to enjoy a summer.
I live in Toronto. That's too real.
Sewer to the subway to 12. 12 has answers.
So now I'm being paranoid. Is this the way we are supposed to go according to the game, you think?
Well, normally, if you stack all the resources, information points to many directions. It's the coalescence and opposition of the domain. We can't go to a police station because that's too much order and structure for the city. The tower is too direct. If you go too direct, you don't play the game. You skip too much, and then it gets hangry.
I suggest we speed run. Can we
It just echoes through the whole place.
As long as we're being chased, we're going in the right direction. It stops chasing when you're off the path.
Okay, here's the thought though. It is, I mean, physically, it's cat. Right?
No, but yes. In the same way that physically I am a person, but that's not the case.
Why did that make sense? Okay. So we just let this thing chase us in the exact way it wants us to go.
You can try a different direction and let it catch you, but your options are run or die.
Okay.
Silas tried to go the wrong way, and he got stitched with the red yarn. Dismembered more than once.
Sounds like a handsome guy. All right.
As Tyson tries to fully remove the grate.
I'll help. I'll help you move the grate.
I'll keep an eye out for the cat.
Yeah. So it's just in, like, as you're getting ready to go down through the grate, there's a ladder. You see the silhouette of this cat in every single window of the warehouse.
Appears I was wrong. It's cats.
Whereas it's just one shadow entity swarming. As you're going down the ladder, it's like the mist at the mansion. It was everywhere, but it was multiple things at once. It was whatever it needed to be in the moment.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
As there is a cat slowly walking towards you all, as the shadows in the windows stay.
Yeah, I want to go down the ladder.
Okay, so you go down the ladder. You hit the bottom into the sewers. There's, of course, the walkway. There is, like, the stream, of course. But these are your average sewers, from what you can tell, grimy. There is the hint of smelling of, like, iron in the air.
Tyson's going to pull out his handy-dandy camera to make sure there's lighting.
Okay.
Because sewers are usually dark.
They are.
I'll turn on my phone light too.
Same.
Got your phone light.
What's my battery power? Do I know that? Like what? I'll let you tell me.
Actually, do me a favor.
God, this is gonna be like Outlast with my stupid
Roll
flashlight
I have a
batteries.
webcam and I'm like, oh damn, oh no.
Roll a d10.
All right.
Just the one.
5.
Roll another d10.
7.
You are at 57%.
57%. Okay.
Alice, please roll a d10.
Five.
Please roll another d10.
7.
Oh, what the?
Oh no!
That's ominous.
Unreal
as hell.
Oculus
Like that.
dice know the story.
Well,
I will go ahead and just throw this out there. All three of you, your batteries are at 57%.
It's okay. I use my camcorder camera specifically, and I learned from other situations to have multiple batteries. That mansion was hell. I got shot last time.
Yeah. So are you looking through the camera at it, or are you using the light?
I was using the night light or the night vision version, but when they put on the flashlights of their phones, I closed the camera so not to have that weird glare and to waste my battery.
Valid. Okay. So you begin. So you're making your way through. Occasionally,
The tapping. Continuing forward.
Occasionally, echoing. Fox, occasionally. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you feel that childlike urge to run to your apartment.
Constantly checking over my shoulder.
Alice, begin to feel isolated, even in this group. It's small, it's dark. You're not really sure where you're going. Now, Tyson, there's a tapping on your shoulder. There are footsteps behind you. As Alice and Fox turn to look at you, there's a gray hand resting on your shoulder.
First, I'm going to take a pinch of salt, throw it over my shoulder for good luck.
The hand grips into your shoulder, and you gotta endure.
Yeah, because, fortitude, that's a stat I have numbers in. With a fortitude, that is, that's not good, because that's a 2.
That's a 2.
I rolled double 1s.
In this moment, for one, you do take a wound. You do take, as you see the fingers jab into the flesh through the clothing. You can hear the clothing rip. Tyson, the pain is so sudden, you drop unconscious from pain. Fox and Alice, your phones whip around. There is a small, gray, childlike creature sitting there licking the blood off of its fingers as a moth crawls from up behind its head and over. How do you respond in this instance, watching Tyson collapse? And there's this thing, because I will give you a moment to tell me your initial reactions before rolling the obvious. Roll, keep it together, Fox.
And I would like to point out that this shoulder is the same exact shoulder that I was stabbed in at the asylum, in which gummy worms were used to plug the wound. So,
Alice, go ahead and roll, keep it together as well.
I sneezed. I'm allergic to ghosts.
Best sensory skill ever. Chew up as a ghost.
Keep it together. Willpower. Oh my God, math. At 10.
Okay.
8.
Okay. So, Fox, as you see this, you're surrounded by darkness. You can't be in the dark. You don't want to be anywhere near this thing. Anytime you're in the dark, you're going to take a penalty. And you will lose the stability in this instance. Alice, you too are now afraid to be alone in the dark. It is a chronic feeling. You have to be in proximity to someone. You want to be touching somebody. As much as you hate this, you can't not. You feel like you are floating in this abyss, and you do lose 2 stability. Now I will leave to both of you how you respond. Do you run? Do you stay? Do you take Tyson?
I'm definitely grabbing Fox's arm.
I'm not gonna run. But I will definitely take like 2 6'5" steps backwards.
So in that situation, the both of you begin to back away.
With my phone sort of trained on that thing.
As your phone lights hit its eyes, there's like a weird iridescence across it. Its head tilts slightly as it turns down, looking at Tyson. And latches onto Tyson's leg with its mouth and begins pulling Tyson back into the sewer.
My initial instinct is to do the that's a much better idea than what I'm doing. But to do the like when you're like you see on TV, like people attacked by bears or whatever, you like clap and get loud and start going towards it. That's what I'm going to do, just instinctually, just to try to impose my intimidation.
You guys begin to like kind of try to do the big bear thing. I guess go ahead and let's make this let's go ahead and make it and I will say tell me what you would like to roll, and Alice, if you are assisting, the way that this goes is you can help, and so in this situation you would be able to roll your D10 to see if you can help, if you would like to assist in the big bearing effect.
The thing I want to use, like the skill doesn't make a lot of sense on its face, but the explanation of skill is to influence others. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to like, sort of that. So it's charisma, but that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to do. So that's what I'll do.
And you can also roll to help if you would like to add some bonus.
When he like starts to do his
it's a 20.
big bear, excellent noise, I would like to like kind of, when he starts making that noise, kind of be jarred out of like my shock and try and grab for Tyson and like grab onto him and pull and like maybe like grab for the salt at the same time. Okay. So could I act under pressure?
Yes. Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
That's 21 total.
13.
13. Okay. So with that, no, Fox, you begin to like do like, trying to be intimidating, and you're throwing like the big bear noises out at it, and it like screeches at you, and its jaw drops open, and you just see rows of serrated teeth and blood just pouring from them as it backs away before turning and running. And yeah, with the acting under pressure, and at 13, you see all of this begin to happen, and you think fast. Your arm goes from holding Fox to touching Tyson. However, you can't seem to like break that, but you do manage. You get a hold of Tyson, and you have the salt in your hand, and you have Tyson in your everything you can. You're pulling Tyson towards you, and it disappears into the sewers. Tyson is breathing. Tyson, with that loud screech and the sudden feel of a human touch, your eyes shoot open, and Alice has a hold of you.
Checking the wound to make sure this one was real.
Yep. It's only skin deep, but you're bleeding. Did we lose Ronan?
That face, though.
Face, though. I mean, it's accurate.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
they got him. The cats got him.
They got him. The cats got him. With that, we're going to take a quick break, just a second, see if we can snag Ronan and finish up this episode. Again, enter Nightmare into the chat to get those lovely D20 tin puzzles, because they are extremely cool. They are foldable 10 D20 puzzles. Do the thing, and we'll be right back as soon as we can. Cool. Okay. All right. Tyson, your eyes shoot open. Alice is above you. Fox, this thing is taken off into the sewers. Down the sewers from you, you begin to hear screams. Female screams.
Tyson is going to immediately try to dress the wound properly this time. No pen caps and gummy worms. Is actually going to, I have a lighter, so I'm gonna, while heading towards the screams, gonna take my knife, heat it with the lighter, and do the whole, try to cauterize the wounds real quick while biting down on some extra fabric, as one does. I've been down this road before.
Go ahead and roll your dices.
Oh, thank you, dice, for being so much nicer. Let's see, I believe that's gonna be is it endure injury or keep act under pressure, or keep it together?
I would say endure injury in this situation, because I'm going to,
all right, that's going to be a 15.
Yeah, you do manage to ride out the pain of this, but you do manage to treat and cauterize that wound, so you're no longer actively bleeding.
Got it. Okay,
but you hear those female screams as you're going along.
We need to keep going. No more hesitation. No more lingering.
So are frantically trying to use my cell phone light to light up an entire sewer.
Yeah. So you're all making your way through the sewer too, and you now see light coming through, and it is a flickering, like that pale green light that comes from really not creepy sewers.
Yep.
And of course, leading into the beautiful, beautiful subway. Eventually, you hit and it's already like broken. Like you can tell once upon a time there was a latch, but it's like rusted through and someone's kicked it. Do you open and go through?
Yep. Tyson, assuming Tyson's in front, Tyson will.
Okay. You lift this grate up and out. It's an easy enough step, and there's like a subway platform. You can see that the gate that leads to the stairwell leading out of the subway is like closed. This is kind of like a nook, and you can look around, and there's like a bunch of chairs, and there's a lot of blood, and you can smell a sickly sweet smell in the air. There's like music playing off of like a boombox, but it sounds distorted. It's like it got knocked over, but it's still playing. There are multiple bodies on the floor. There's a sweet smell in the air. Fox, Alice, and Tyson, you smell this smell? It's drugs. There's drugs. And as you continue to peer, at the center is the girl in the hoodie. Splayed out. There's markings drawn around her in her own blood. However, there are busted pipes on the ground. There are several unconscious people wearing cloaks of some kind. Alice, you recognize Silas. Needle in arm, covered in blood, lying on the ground, just as commotion is heard coming down the stairs. The gate is busted. Tyson, you recognize Jack coming down the stairs as a swarm of policemen and investigators swarm the scene of a gruesome murder. There is a crash of thunder and a crack of red lightning outside before each of you wake up in your apartment. Tyson, the heater kicks on, and the blind string begins to tap on the wall. Alice, the vent begins to rattle a little bit. Fox, the pleasant, warm air hits you from the heater as the sun peeks out from under your curtain. And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode. Please catch us in 2 weeks for episode 2 of chapter 3 of Far Realms, where we will watch them play the game. So, thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 1. Let's go ahead and announce our winner for our giveaway by Mithril Armory of our D20 puzzle. While my players, particularly Jay and Ronan, are writhing, I'm hoping Rachel's enjoying this. Alrighty, there you go. Matihi. Congratulations. Congratulations. Join our Discord, post the pictures on the Instagram of how much better you are at those puzzles than me. I always like to see them successfully done, so do the thing. But yes, thank you all so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and give my players a chance to vent. Rachel, go ahead and shout yourself out.
Hi, I'm Rachel Beauregard. You can find me on Instagram at Bad Duck Design for my all things gay and nerdy. My personal is Manic Pixie Tank Girl to see random postings whenever I feel like it. I'm Sugar Punk on Twitch. I am known to lurk in the chat sometimes. If you see me, say hi. And yeah, I'm having a really, really good time. That 57 battery thing really freaked me the fuck out.
It's too good.
That's Far Realms.
Can't make that shit up. Ask me whether or not I wrote that down.
Like 57 is now important. Heinz ketchup. I got you.
Ronan. Ronan.
He was so good until that moment.
I'm Ronan. Yeah. That's it. I'm scared, confused. You can't find me on socials.
You.
Screw that. I'm not looking. And you can catch me on Tuesdays. I'm on the Ekram expeditions over on with the red herring now. Yeah, the red hair in now.
The red hair.
The red hair. I still want to say DM screen. It's the red hair in on Twitch. And then I guess I'll be back here for more of whatever the hell this is.
Jay.
Oh, hey. It's been a day. Tyson's who I play, but you can call me Jay. Casual. Find me on all social media at just2casual, where I do a whole bunch of entertaining things. You can also find me on all kinds of Twitch channels. I'm obviously here on Far Realms. I'm over on Cyber Nation Uncensored, playing a super mutant samurai named Yasuke. Every Friday at noon, I'm also on Ekram Expeditions, playing Corvus, the not so edgy edge lord of the Cinnamon Roll group, but obviously the more charming individual of the entire group. Also, starting next week, I'll be over on Gehenna Gaming on their Urban Shadows live actual play on Mondays, where I'm playing a monster hunter who thinks everything's just LARPing and doesn't realize that monsters are actually real, just thinks the special effects budget is out of this world. All that, but also you can see my journey as I'm trying to become a published TTRPG game designer with my Deep Breath RPG, the anime-inspired urban fantasy retrofuturistic setting of Horiath, where the old world of magic meets the new world of technology. The sample guide is about to be complete. I will be having anybody who's subscribed as a member on Ko-Fi will be getting some sample guides for some of the details. You pay for those, you get access to more stuff until we get ready to launch the Kickstarter. So join that on Deep Breath RPG on Twitter and on Instagram. Go to the website to get updates for the email blasting at deepbreathrpg.com. That's DEEP bread THRPG.com.
Okay. I am your keeper, Taryn Hackett, also known as Valrook on the Instagram, sometimes the Twitter, never the Twitter. I should try better. But I am a generally creative human and eldritch entity feeding on the misery and freakies of all of my friends with even little eldritch kitty meows. I'm so happy. But I am also a dice maker under the moniker of Umbrella Oculus Dice. That's UO_dice on the Instagram. Entering code initiative for a discount code at checkout to get 10% off full sets in my shop. And actually with that, a quick shout out to all of the sponsors for the initiative order: Session Zero Clothing, D&D inspired streetwear. Use code ORDER at checkout in their shop for 15% off there. Norse Foundry, the artisan dice makers, use code TIO15 for 15% off in their shop as well. Roaming Player Gear, tabletop gaming supplies, you can use code Carnaby20 for 20% off of the Dice Tower Tray combo set there. And of course, Mithril Armory, sponsors of our giveaway and of the channel. Tabletop gaming supplies, all of the things. Code initiative at checkout there for 10% off is their shop as well. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to support the players and compensate their suffering, you can go to our Ko-fi to compensate and soothe their souls. But yes, thank you so much. And please join us in a couple of weeks where we see what the hefe is going on, because it's so much worse than they think. Thank you guys so much for joining us Beyond the Veil. We'll see you next time.